Hello guys, welcome back to your channel 1000 Manga Recap. In the last episode, we saw Li Ruobing teasing Manglan. Let's move forward. Manglan shyly says, well, if I don't know, then it means that I don't know it. Wu Chen responds, there's more than just this room and the suite. I didn't sleep with her in this one. Ruobing, you came to me just to ask such boring questions, right? Li Ruobing retorts, how is it boring? I don't think so. Manglan thinks to herself, did Mr. Wu sleep in another room? Although his relationship with women is complex, he doesn't seem like someone who can lie in that regard. Li Ruobing stares and thinks, then, we are clear. And Manglan's expression is too obvious. TSK, something must have happened last night. Even if they didn't sleep together, there was definitely some outrageous endeavor. Li Ruobing asks, so, Missin, did I win the bet we made? Manglan replies, no. You haven't won yet. Manglan thinks, since nothing happened with Mr. Wu, it was just a kiss. It doesn't mean that I have fallen in love with him, it's just that I got caught up in the emotional mood at that time. Li Ruobing thinks, while talking, you lost the momentum you had at the first meeting, which is good. Although the bet is important, your attitude is more important. Wu Chen has a good relationship with women and frankly, I couldn't care less if he has one more or one less, but since you came later you should maintain your status as a concubine. Wu Yurong's odd behavior is already enough. Li Ruobing says, I haven't won yet, huh? Okay, keep the bet. Scene shifts. Wu Chen comments, so lively. We see Xia and Su Qingying. Xia says, darling. Su Qingying adds, I'm starving, sister, hurry up and prepare something. Li Ruobing says, fine, little sister. Su Qingying asks, husband, what do you want me to do? Xia asks, can I help too? How can we help? Li Ruobing says, stop beating around the bush and just say it. Wu Chen says, Qingying, Qian, Xiao Dai, come over and kiss me. We see everyone's expressions. Li Ruobing, feeling jealous, asks, what about me? Wu Chen hands her the phone and says, your part is the most important, you need to take pictures of them kissing me. We see Li Ruobing looking jealous and angry. We see Xiao Dai, Xia, and Su Qingying kissing Wu Chen. Friends, this is life, what do you want? Li Ruobing asks, tell me, what kind of trick are you playing at? Wu Chen slowly says, hee, let me tell you, #%yen %yen dot. Li Ruobing says, you're really annoying. Scene shifts. We see Manglan and Wu Chen. The two of them happily talked about music and their romantic lives. Manglan happily thinks, chatting with him is always so enjoyable, and I feel like we have endless topics to talk about, and, besides, I even kissed him last time, that's right, the last time Miss Li Ruobing was in my room, her reaction wasn't big either. Even if I have to kiss Mr. Wu again, it won't result in something scary happening, right? We see Manglan come closer to Wu Chen and says sensually, Mr. Wu, how about we go play the piano together again? Wu Chen says, okay. We see Manglan's room. Manglan is playing piano. Manglan says, Mr. Wu, you are truly a great musician. The melody of the piece you composed is so touching. Manglan stands up and says, why don't we have breakfast? Suddenly she loses balance and falls to the ground. Immediately, Wu Chen catches her. Manglan gets shy. Manglan shyly asks, do we know each other? Wu Chen looks at Manglan. Suddenly, Manglan starts kissing Wu Chen. Wu Chen replies, perhaps we have known each other long ago? However, even if it's now, it's not too late. Manglan says sensually, yes, even if it's now, it's not too late. One night later. Manglan slowly opens her eyes and notices Wu Chen. She thinks, yesterday, after I got drunk. We see her thinking about the last sweet night. She continues thinking, I really crossed the line with Mr. Wu, hey, I'm still not sober yet, I'm feeling troubled, yesterday, I just wanted to kiss him again, but after drinking, I couldn't control myself, and Manglan, you have become a nasty woman who actively seduces other women's boyfriends. She is thinking about Li Ruobing. Li Ruobing said, so what? When are you planning to have sex with him? We come to our story. Manglan looks very frustrated, she thinks, if it weren't for Miss Li, I might have been with Wu Chen. But now, how do I face Wu Chen? How can I face Li Ruobing? Just then Wu Chen entered the room and asked, oh, Missin, you woke up so early. Manglan nervously says, Wu, Mr. Wu. Wu Chen confusedly asked, what's going on? Manglan nervously says, our affair, don't tell Miss Lee, okay? She thinks, I can't think of any way to handle this matter now. Wu Chen smiles and says, Ruobing won't ask, don't worry. Manglan confusedly asked, huh? Why? Wu Chen replied, she's too lazy to ask, but she might come directly to you. Manglan surprisingly said, directly, to find me. She smiles and thinks, face to face, wouldn't it be better if I refused to admit it? She doesn't have much evidence anyway. Yes, that's it. Wu Chen smiles and says, Missin, it seems that you are not afraid, or are you? Manglan replied while kissing, well, I'm not afraid. We see both start exercises. An hour and a half later. Manglan says while wearing clothes, I plan to return to Shanghai City this afternoon. Wu Chen said, is it that urgent? How about taking a day off before leaving? Manglan said, I need to go back early to record an album. By the way, there are places where you will be needed, once the recording is over. Wu Chen said, no problem, I'll come find you in a few days. 3 days later. We see Li Ruobing's office. We see Manglan's call. Wu Chen said, hello, Missin? What? The source of the new song has been leaked. Manglan said, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Wu Chen asked, where did it leak out? Li Ruobing shows the phone. Manglan replied, it suddenly went viral online and spread throughout the internet. I asked people to delete as much as possible, but it became very problematic, mainly because there were too many. Wu Chen asked, how did it leak out? Who did you send all the samples to? Manglan said, I recorded several versions, but I wasn't sure which version was better, so I sent them to the company's music tutors, songwriters, managers, singers, trainees, dozens of people. Wu Chen said, that is to say, it was leaked by your company's internal personnel, Missin, you don't need to panic, I will go to Shanghai City immediately. Li Ruobing asked, darling, so why are you laughing? Wu Chen replied, because it just keeps getting interesting, I was thinking of finding a better reason than recording an album to go to Shanghai City, but the reason just came knocking on my door. Li Ruobing said, playing Manglan? You were not thinking of conquering her, right? Wu Chen said, is that all you think is on my mind? Darling, do you think all I care or think about is women? Li Ruobing surprisingly says, are you trying to pull the Yin family? To include another force to hunt down the Ding family. Li Ruobing said, the Yin family has already been pulled in, so seriously darling, you need to pay attention to your body when you go this time. Wu Chen asked while teasing, are you jealous? Li Ruobing makes a cute expression and replies, yes, I'm very jealous. Wu Chen said, if you agreed to bet then you should accept to lose, you get jealous now. Li Ruobing said, I'll get jealous, what can you do to me? As soon as Li Ruobing said these words, Wu Chen immediately started kissing Li Ruobing. Li Ruobing gets surprised. Li Ruobing says, bad guy, what are you doing? We are still in the office. We see Wu Chen's hand going towards Li Ruobing's treasure. Scene shifts. Half a day later, Shanghai City. Wu Chen said, Mr. Peng, help me investigate a few people. Their addresses have been sent to you. Please send someone over to take some photos. Peng said, okay, Mr. Wu. Besides, Zhou Xinglong's side has been here for the past 2 days. Tang said, master, remember to come to me once you're done. I'll be waiting for you. Wu Chen said, come, Xiao Dai. Let's go to Miss Sin's place. Employee said, isn't it just for teacher Chen Wu? Is there a need for such a big fanfare? Why bother so much? Just follow the boss's instructions. Manglan happily says, teacher Chen Wu, you're here. Employee laughed and said, I thought he would be an experienced trainee in his 40s and 50s, but I didn't expect him to be a young man. Manglan turns and angrily says, what are you doing? Aren't you going to welcome the teacher yet? We see everyone greeting Wu Chen. Wu Chen smiles and says, let's talk upstairs. Xiao Dai thinks what is going on. Wu Chen said, what is the current situation? Did you find anything? Manglan said, after investigating all the surveillance footage, there are currently 5 suspects. Wu Chen said, you are very efficient. Manglan sadly says, there was only 1 convict, so I didn't arrest them all. After all, they are all talented. It will be quite problematic if there is a crisis in the future due to lack of trust. Wu Chen said, it's okay, I already know who the culprit is. If you like my video, please share and subscribe.